Hello, Tyra here, and I'm finally back with some more of my Death Must Die content. It's a little bit outdated at this point, but I figured I may as well keep going. Right now we're running Merris. So far, my whole thought process is projectiles, more and more projectiles. And so far that's been complicated. It's been my favorite way to run Merris is with more projectiles, but it does not feel like it scales well with damage. As we talked about in the previous video, it's like the damage doesn't overlap. Our gas worked, it's great. I still don't understand why we're doing this. None of this makes any... Nobody explains anything at any point, except to each other. And then we have the wild shopkeeper here, which I actually ended up buying quite a few things from throughout my playthroughs. I find them quite useful so far because I haven't had much luck with drops, which changes later through in gameplays. You might notice that I've actually fixed my audio properly this time. Congratulations. We get to actually find a magnet at the very start of this playthrough. How useful. They're fun to find later, not as fun to find immediately. You can see my partner in the bottom right, who was also streaming and playing the game. In the first slime pit there. Playing Kront the Barbarian. I believe with the last update, and since I've played Merris, I've unlocked a new character, which I did not get on stream. So we're gonna have to go over that at some point. I love the Knoll Huts. And the different choices you get there. They're much more engaging than the shrines to me, and it's just immersive in a way I didn't expect from this game. Legon God of Lightning gives me funny vibes, but I love chain lightning. I like moving fast. I've considered doing a full-on movement speed based build with chain lightning and just outrun everything, dodge everything. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know how item builds go late game, and with new updates always coming out, we'll see how that goes. Another projectile, of course. Who needs the attack speed? I should be calling it attack speed at this point, but hindsight's 2020. More chain lightning. See, distance moved. Well, castable distance moved is part of the reason why I want to do a movement speed build. And see how that actually goes. Now, if we have a pause here at any point, I do have an alarm set, but I believe we will actually finish our recording here before the alarm goes off. We have about an hour. And I don't believe you'll listen to me talking for that long, so I tend to make my videos a little bit shorter. But if you're interested in longer videos, and if I can manage to actually vocalize for that long, you're more than welcome to ask for them. Alright, Goddess of Fate. I always love it when they talk to me. It's some of the most fun engagement in the game for me. And more projectile count for me. And less area. And so far, it felt like the area damage, like the actual splash damage from the fire spells, did not overlap with each other. Otherwise, I felt like I should be doing double and triple the amount of damage I was doing. So, it feels like only one fireball was applying its actual effect. I don't know how it is in the current patch. I would have to go back in and double check. But something felt off about it. My partner definitely is getting a lot better luck with their level up choices so far, in the bottom right there. I've realized that they've gotten epic choices twice this run. I get to that point eventually, but a lot of that is based on item luck and who you're playing and what items you've gotten for them so far and how your run's been going. I eventually get to the point where it's a little bit complicated for me to dodge. I don't have the right eyeglass prescription, I have neurological problems, it's hard for me to see what's going on, so eventually I'm gonna run into a pillar or a solid object and die. It's consistent, it happens in every video, it's probably going to happen in every video. You're going to see me dodge into something and or run into a solid object and die. I do like the lightning strikes while moving. They don't feel like they do the most amount of damage, but when you're actually watching a video back like here, it actually helps me quite a bit with managing the bosses here. Especially when I'm either focused on the bosses or focused on the minions. It means that the bosses are still getting constant ticks of damage. And it's not a lot of damage, but it definitely helps me get through this, because that so far has been the hardest boss fight for me. Adept Expert. I clicked on that specifically because of what color it was, and because it said Adept Expert on it. And yes, that is a big part of my decision-making process. Ooh, fancier color. Click on this one. I love the skeleton. He asks you to stop, and I really do need to try and see if he'll not attack me if I stop, but I think I did try at least once. I was like, stop, okay, I'll stop, and then he shot at me again, and it's just like, no, you don't get to do that. Oh, expert choices. There we go. I like damage versus barriers quite a bit. I don't feel like charge is super helpful to me, but in hindsight, I feel like charge with the knockback, with the dash, with the purpose of the dash being to get you out of trouble, should be useful. And there is a range on it, so I do need to get it and try it at some point. I believe I'm actually reading it here, trying to decide what I'm choosing. And I went with War Pact. If you watch any of my other videos, see, I got stuck on something and died. If you watch any of my other videos, you'll realize that I, quite frequently will pause and take a very long time to read and select my choices. It's part of the reason why I do voiceover like I do, rather than just doing a straight playthrough. And I'd rather have more direct content for you, explain what's going on, and show you the outcome. We're not quite to that point with this game yet, but eventually we will start doing targeted runs where our goal is to get specific abilities. We'll aim for those specific abilities, and we'll do however many runs we can do to get into a video, to get to the conclusions that we need to get. And we'll get it to whatever speed we need to get it, and I will walk you step by step through it and see how the build goes. But right now, we're just experiencing the game, playing around, enjoying the characters. Projectile Pierce is something I also quickly fall in love with on Merris. It is nice to have exploding fireballs that go through enemies. I don't remember what shrine this is. Was it a challenge shrine that spawned more enemies, or did it just give me 100% more damage? I think it's just more damage, right? Are there challenge shrines? I want a challenge shrine. Give me challenge shrines. Don't just give me the timed events. Let me go hit a shrine that has a chance to slap the heck out of me. Am I paused listening here or reading here, or have I gotten distracted by a Kront in the bottom right? I was watching that. It's part of why I had it up on the stream. Sometimes it takes a while for me to decide what I think about characters. Ice isn't my favorite. I prefer lightning, but being able to freeze things that have shields is very nice. Lady Justice is one of my favorite goddesses. This characters in general in this game. Not just because of the healing, but the healing is very nice. A damage reflection build would be pretty cool as well. I'm not sure how feasible that is. I'll have to see what recent patches are like. I'm hoping to get a bunch of videos edited out, upload hopefully 2 per day, probably one of these and one of Minecraft. I won't have too many of these. I've been doing 12-minute videos. I think most people who watch these would welcome longer videos. I'm gonna have to ask around and see. And if you're listening right now, and you're hearing and you're enjoying this, would you like to see longer videos of these? Especially with the better audio quality, now that I figured out the problem with my editing software and my microphone, which I accidentally turned the gain up again, which ruined my audio quality. Me struggling with the slime pit again. And choosing damage buffs when they're so small when I don't have anything else that procs that damage other than my spell. Like, I get that I want the damage, but I need to be getting other things that actually do damage. I like Wrathful Strike, though. I'll excuse myself for that one. That one's not just a pure damage buff. There's a chance on Wrathful Strike. Projectile count, I like, but I'm going attack speed because I like the piercing so far, and I don't think projectile count is going to help much with that. And I would like more piercing and more AoE, and that's kind of the build that I felt like I wanted to go for in this specific run, was piercing and AoE. Now, damage return, I don't think I should be stacking. Armor and healing, there we go. This is how I did end up going for healing in the end. It just feels so nice. I need to try armor at some point, but armor reads like it's temporary. Because enemy armor is temporary, and I need to actually do a run where I get it. Am I going to die here? Oh, I always die to this boss. Because they can dash outside of their own zone. It makes it hard enough to manage. Did I get a new item and then almost die because I wanted to put it on? Did I walk into a skeleton? Oh, this is where I unlock, I forgot her name. Completely forgot her name. Nixi. There it is. Putting some equipment on her. Gave me the perfect time to actually see her name. Nixi is interesting, but I'm not sure how I feel about the basic attack buffs that are actually offered in Nixi. I've had a really hard time using Nixi, and that's primarily because there's not much AoE on Nixi's attack. Nixi is very directionally oriented, and that means I have to aim everything and be aware of everything. That's a little bit hard in this game sometimes, and it's a small attack. But I believe there's some attack duplication and stuff that you actually get. Let's see. It becomes right there. Literally just mentioned it. Have a chance to trigger an additional attack. Now that seems like it could stack up and be pretty wild to me. Let's see. That's my dash. Frost zones spawn at random. I don't mind the frost zones. It helps keep crowd control down. It lets you actually focus on a smaller amount of enemies at a time, which usually you need to do in cases like this when you have somebody you need to focus down. I like leaving Frost Trail, but killing frozen enemies is nice as well. Your spell speeds and cooldowns are faster. I believe that applies definitely not to your attack speed. It'd be cool if it applied to your attack speed. Technically, Merris is using spells, but I'm not gonna nitpick there. Just means that the frost shows up on the ground more often. It's very nice with the shield chargers, for that matter. There's life increases right there. So it's possible to build a retaliation build. Stack up heals. Might try that on one of the warriors. Kront, and then the other new one that came out that I have unlocked and can't remember the name of. Attack 6, attack damage, sickles duration. I still don't know. I did it alright with the slimes on my first run with this character, but that is largely because of the sickles. I feel like I need to have higher evasion, higher movement speed, some sort of lifesteal going on. It's just rough as Nixi. I was hoping area was going to apply to my basic attack as well. It looks like it does. I could be wrong about that, but it says spells. Did it say attacks and spells? I'm not gonna go back and read it. We're just gonna continue the video. We're gonna go a little bit longer than we normally do. We're gonna go until I feel like I'm done actually narrating here. If we need to actually find a cutoff point, I'll interrupt myself. Put a nice little voice interruption and be like, hey, so I talked for an hour straight, and we actually need to cut the video here and make this a video of its own. And the next one will pick off with me talking still. Vengeful Strike, applying Burning, is probably something that would have been nice for me to go for. Like increased spell shards. I still feel like more experience in this game is a lot more useful than more experience in other games. XP builds have felt very nice. But going for a spell, definitely building curse is definitely something that I've talked about a few times with other people, myself, and maybe in the first episode, where there is a buff you can get where when you kill a cursed enemy, you get a very small percentage damage increase, and it seems like it infinitely stacks. I think it's just attack area. I think area just applies to everything. And it really does feel like it works well with Nixi's attacks. It's just, that says spell area, but the actual buff is an area increase. I feel like it applies to basic attacks, but I'm not positive. Going off of what it looks like now, based to last round when I actually got the area increase. Ooh, a master and a legend. Get the legend. Lifesteal on hit. A Nixi? Yeah, no. If you don't choose that, I'm gonna question my reality. There we go. With the double attacks and with one of the buffs, attack buffs being multiple hits at a time, like, come on. There is a point where, do I choose spell shards or attack damage this time? Spell shards. See, I can't make up my mind. Attack damage technically means I can kill things faster, but look at the lifesteal carrying me through this slime wave. I'm just walking through it, taking damage, and acting like nothing's happening. It would be cool if lifesteal can actually restore armor, but again, enemy armor is temporary, so I'm not sure what armor is like on a character. I might actually boot up single player and grab armor specifically to check that out. All skills offered are novice, gain 100% more, 111% more experience. I'm gonna take that at one point. That's a significant XP boost, especially when you can increase shard drop chance. And experience in other ways, and I don't know if it is additive or I don't know if it adds or multiplies. There we go. Area, let's see. Is there a visual change in my attack area? If it is, it's not the most noticeable. I think I don't like Nixi without the attack speed buff. I just got evasion. Attack speed buff? No, the lifesteal buff. Ooh, I tried really hard to rely on it there against a boss that almost killed me. That's definitely not the best plan. Phantoms don't seem the most useful to me. They do apply curse, but I'm still not sure how it counts killing an enemy with curse. If you need to kill them with curse damage specifically, or if you need to kill them while they're cursed. the wiki probably has this information at this point. I had planned to make some shorts alongside the wiki information, and actually just make some shorts and explain how different things in this game work, but I've been sick all through the holidays, and I've been dealing with drama with family. I have an eviction, I have my own health issues, I mentioned this earlier already. So, everything's been complicated. But, we're here, and we're doing our recordings and voiceovers now. And I had plans for more streams. Probably this in Minecraft right now. I'm not going to branch out too far. I was supposed to play Horde Hunters, which is, again, is another bullet heaven game like this. This is kind of a mix. This isn't specifically a bullet heaven, but it's in the same kind of vein where you're fighting hordes of enemies, and it's a lovable game, but it doesn't have the best graphics, and there's some things that work against it. It's made in Game Maker Engine, and the developer of that game is absolutely wonderful, but sales haven't been great. Despite the game being super cheap, people just don't get into it, and the initial reviews kind of bombed the game a little bit, even though all of the initial problems have been addressed and actually fixed up. So it's been a little bit of a bummer. Increased damage against cursed enemies is very nice. I think that's the goal behind Curse. Is that rather than damage buffs, you're just smacking the heck out of cursed enemies. That lifesteal buff is still coming in clutch, and it's still only 3 per hit. I lost track of my cursor in the color of the slimes there, and I was really happy to see... What was on the left side? They're rerolls. Okay. Yeah, I don't use my rerolls often enough, so I usually don't choose it when it's an option. Now, that second slime wave, the lifesteal got me through entirely again. It's not that the flames and the ice isn't helping me when I run into waves like that, but being able to regain your health in any kind of way, especially in somebody like Nixi who double attacks, is very nice. Area looks like it's applying to my basic attack, but I might just be crazy. Even if it is applying, it's not applying enough. I want more width rather than distance. I would like a way to, like, reflect my attack behind myself or hit in multiple directions, you know? Which I know there's the whip for that and everything. There's other different spells and abilities that do that. There's ways to fill in that gap already through buffs from the gods, but Nixi just has always felt rough for me, and that's mainly because everybody else has so much AoE. And you had to be in people's faces, and I died because I was in people's faces. I relied too much on the lifesteal, and I didn't have enough life to take hits. I would like to start mousing over and reading some of my endgame screens, so that I can actually explain them post actual stream in my videos. It's a plan for later, once I actually learn the game a little bit more. I do plan to continue playing this through development. It is a wonderful game, and the developers care deeply about it. I offered to work with them and try to do some things with them, but that didn't quite work out. They don't need me. They honestly don't. I'm a community manager. All I do is talk to people, work with streamers, content creators, and like moderate Steam forums and go around to live streams and talk to live streamers and audiences and do interviews and stuff. If they ever have like a con or a show, I help them with PR and stuff with that. It's generally what a community manager does. And or be a glorified copywriter, which means you take patch notes and post them around to social media and stuff and just kind of hype people up about stuff. But It's not specifically needed for this game. They do... I got a magnet at the very start again. I always find them at the start and never later in the game. I still don't know what's up with that. Did I just get the whenever you kill a cursed enemy thing immediately without having curse effect? The damage buff that I was talking about? The, my partner's live stream, the co-stream down below, was over the actual description, but I think that's what I got. Because I don't see curse or anything being applied. I was like, oh, I'm gonna gamble on this. Here we go. Get something that applies curse. Do not get phantoms. Oh. Phantoms works, I guess. I do immediately resolve cursed effect when I hit things that are cursed, but phantoms don't always hit what you're attacking, and sometimes by the time the phantoms come out, what you're attacking is dead. Projectile count, please. Please. Please, projectile count. Get it. Yes. I like rupturing shurikens. Chains of War is nice too. I did complain about needing AoE, but specifically with the phantoms, having the rupturing shurikens just gives you a decent coverage for things. The chains probably would be better long term, but see, look, I feel like I need to go for dashes more often. I really do. That master level dash would have been wonderful to have at any point in this game. I never get dash buffs. I felt like dash buffs were a lot stronger in the demo, and I've just kind of overlooked them and not tried them yet. Get more rupturing shurikens. There you go. That pierce becomes wonderful. Sure, it doesn't resolve curse status, and I still don't know how that stacking works, but I've mastered rupturing blades. See, I love the actual rupturing blades because they apply your on-hit effects and stuff. So they will resolve curse status if I get the resolve curse status attack buff. I love that the God of Time gives you experience gain. But that's one of his things. I don't know how important going luck is. Excuse me. I paused for a minute. See, I don't know if luck increases the drop chance on the extra shards, if it just increases my chance for getting better buffs when I level up, if luck increases my item drop chance, or increases my item drop quality, or if it does all of those things. And that's another thing that's probably on the wiki already. I love rupturing blades. They also look nice. That definitely helps me a lot with my need for AoE on Nixi here. Sometimes when I pause here, I'm assuming I'm listening to dialogue from the actual god or goddess. They take a moment to talk sometimes. And I'm reading. I didn't see what I chose again. I hurt myself by putting the actual co-stream where I put it, but that's alright. I died again anyways afterwards. I like the party buffs that actually unlock different party buffs. That it's not just character based, that different achievements give me different things for the actual whole party. It was very nice. Is this where I see things that I want to buy? At a certain point, I end up seeing things and going, this is something I'm spending my money on. I don't care if I had to sell things. I didn't like playing Nixi, but I kept trying because I wanted to try different builds on Nixi. God of Lightning, what do we get? I don't mind the attack buff, right? Was it just damage? I missed it. I missed what it did. Experience gain. I thought his attack buff was another form of chain lightning, was it not? Ooh, 36% attack damage or 30 armor, or I can ignore them? I wonder if ignoring them does anything for you. Or if it's just like a choice if you're trying to avoid them for a specific run. I've mentioned this before, haven't mentioned it during this recording session, but I love firebolts. You have a lot of enemies that will dash at you or try to attack you before they get to you. Experience game, please. I would like more movement speed. I need to start stacking that more often. Regardless, the firebolts, like the shield enemies, it'll actually fire at the shield enemies and hit the shield enemies because they start dashing as soon as they spawn in. It's not just I see you, I'm going to try to hit you. Enemy barrier is being reduced or experience gain per second. I go experience gain per second, and that actually is wild. I believe one of my runs I get 2 or 3 instances of that, and apparently there are items where you can have a lot of experience gain per second as a buff on them as well. And that's just crazy to me, especially with experience buffs. You can see even when I'm not killing things, I'm getting a decent amount in here. I want summon damage, but I don't get summons too often. I already mentioned not really liking them. Have a chance to trigger an additional attack. Okay, that's what it is. That's what the buff is. Alright. Ooh, master choices. Hello? Breath of Fire would be very nice. There we go. I don't know if it goes off more often with the additional attack. I think it does. It looks like it does at least. More experience, please. You get experience per second. Oh, more projectiles is cool, but I missed an opportunity there because that I would have made that 0.2 whatever experience per second into a 2 experience per second. That would have been amazing. And then there's another 0.9 right there. Oh man. Looking at that and seeing that I missed it just burns me. Yeah, the fire breath does go off inconsistently, so I believe the additional attacks I'm triggering are causing them to go off. I just chose something that buffs specifically the fire breath. I don't have any other spells, and I don't believe my additional casts, my additional attacks count as a spell. I believe they just count as my normal basic attack. So we would be looking more at spell triggers there. When I'm in a fight like this and I have Breath of Fire, I need to be keeping my distance and just using Breath of Fire to try to hit the boss. And that was a horrible mistake I made here. Pick up drop chance is just more item drops, right? Yeah, okay. That heal, the healing pool, and then the shrine immediately afterwards was just a perfect combo after just almost dying to death. Dying to death. And it just worked out perfectly. Fire Breath is carrying me through this run so far. That AoE is amazing. That additional chance only goes up 1%, and I realized how low it was at that point which is why I went for the lightning. And the lightning's not bad. Not bad at all. But it doesn't feel like it scales very well. Your attacks have a chance to cause chain lightning, is what I need. There we go. That's what I did the entire time. I'm moving faster. And more experience gain. That buffs the experience gain per second. So I'm actually getting... It's 2 something per second right now, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm very close to dying. I'm rushing for a health shrine right now. Let's see. I don't know what testing virtues and failing does. I believe I experienced it at least once. I'm looking for anything to heal me, running around hitting everything I can. More experience gain per second. This is the run where I got all of the experience gain per second. I don't know what spell speed does. Does that make the fire breath go farther or faster? Oh no. Not a slime wave. I'm gonna die here. Come on. I believe. You can dash. You should have gotten the fire dash. Something. That would have been really nice right now. This is nerve-wracking watching it back. Enemies you kill leave fire on the ground. That was okay. That was an alright one to pick. Look for a heal. Don't pick up the experience. Oh no. I'm too caught up with actually fighting enemies right now to look for those heals that I need. If you look in the bottom right, Soul Tether heals you, and that is something that I end up focusing a lot more later. And Mort, the Daughter of Death, gives that to you specifically. I just unlocked Kront, the Barbarian. Who are you? I'm a Knight of Order and Penance. I wonder the actual intelligence level of a Kront. Kront doesn't seem dumb to me. He just seems like he speaks very simply. This is where I start seeing things that I want to buy. I can reserve items, and I should have just reserved everything instead of immediately buying stuff, but I just unlocked a new character, and I was like, I'm getting these items for him. Kront is one of my partner's favorite characters, and I love Kront for his AoE attack. It just feels nice to be able to walk around and hit both in front of you and behind you at the same time. I don't remember a full master choice. Wrathful Strike seems like a decent choice right now. Chain Lightning is very viable, though. Chain Lightning doesn't go as far as I thought it did. Is this where I also get the Soul Siphon? I believe it's called Soul... Lifelink. Yeah, there we go. Lifelink is very nice. I don't know why I would swap for master offers specifically, other than there are some buffs where you get legendaries on master offers, or something along those lines, and usually that's on items. So some of these shrines don't make sense to me, but having a chance for attacks to recharge a dash makes perfect sense to me, but in all reality, I forget to dash a lot of the time. Need to practice on that a little bit. It's one of those things where playing the game more often is going to help me with it. Chain Lightning, Master. Then we get another Gremlin something. Gremlin Root House, it was called? Was there not a Kobold one before? Was it always Gremlins? Or they're gremlins and kobolds. And why are they living here specifically? I don't remember them being death attuned in any sort of lore in anything. I like them being here. They're some of my favorite things to come across. 20% more heals didn't make sense to me. That implied that more heals would be dropped. But it could just be that it's 20% more healing overall as opposed to 20% more heals being dropped. Dead. I died to the slimes. Of all things to die to. I died to the first slime wave. I made a short here. That would be why it suddenly zoomed in. I forgot that I pulled a short out of this. That was a major mistake on my part in not dashing. I specifically mentioned that mistakes get made frequently. I'll eventually pull some more shorts and compilations of that and me getting stuck on pillars, but I got a magnet straight at the start and I don't find them later. I don't know why that seems to happen and if it's been patched. Because it feels weird to have a magnet straight at the start, because I'm not going to turn back around. I'm going to go in one direction and kind of run in that same direction. Sickles of Mort isn't bad. I feel like that might have been a better choice to go there. Lady Justice, what do you give me? Life regen would be very nice. Do I take it? Yes. So Kront would be the person where I would want to go a retaliation, health, and regeneration build on. Does Kront have access to retaliation? Let's see. I don't know. It depends on whether or not Lady Justice wants to offer it. Some things are character specific, and I will have to actually look and see if there's different specific offerings. Because having life regeneration, that might be what replaces the actual retaliation. Shard pull area does not feel like percent of experience points in shards to bonus damage. What does that mean? Do shards cause bonus damage, or do I get extra experience in shards if I do bonus damage when I kill things? Is it an overkill buff to shard drop experience? 20% more heals. Something just dropped to heal. I think that's what it meant by 20% more heals. Warp Strike not increasing the actual drop chance is a bit of a bummer to me. I believe it might in later levels, but it didn't there, which is why I didn't choose it. Execution increases the shard drop chance, so we go for that. I'm having a hard time managing the slimes here. Use your dashes, come on. Reprisal is still one of my favorite things. Oh, I do have damage retaliation. Consecration? I've already gotten it once. I missed myself getting it? I wonder if armor isn't an actual armor stack on you, but just reduces damage done to you. That's probably what armor actually is. There's armor stats on my equipment, isn't there? That's what it is. Armor probably reduces damage done to you. It took me this entire time to realize that. That's, in hindsight, that should have been a little bit more obvious with it being one of the stats on items, but it is what it is. Is Lady Justice talking, or... Get armor! See what it does. Find out. Yes, okay, so I did get armor eventually to figure it out. Alright, so I am attempting to get a regen and retaliation build going here. But it doesn't look like it. Armor's doing me a good job here. I need to learn to use my dashes more efficiently and to attack when I need to, as opposed to just holding down the button. Gem high is cool. I haven't gotten gem high as a, I haven't selected it before. Of course I'm going to go for the experience gain, but... See, I'm using dashes in this boss fight, but that's because they scare the life out of me. And I have a very hard time dodging them when I don't have movement speed. Oh, I got stuck on the pillar. We got to witness it live after me talking about it so often. I definitely have to make a short of that now. I might actually stop this particular one here. This seems like a good stopping point. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. If you feel like supporting my videos and or helping me make it through life medically or in any other capacity, I have a Ko-Fi, check it out. Link should be in the description, and have a good one. And thank you for watching.